green in my bloodstream. Oh, click sting, never miss a thing. Yeah, green in my bloodstream. I'm the king of your bad dreams. Got green in my bloodstream. Love, no more fear, just hunger remains. Got green in my bloodstream. Love, save me, name, then fade away. Got green in my bloodstream. Love, strike like thunder in the rain. Got green in my bloodstream. Love, and you'll never be the same. Creeping, stinging, creeping, stinging, green in my bloodstream.
Version 2.0 of my Herald of Agony build guide. For all those guys that missed it, this is a one button build. Basically you spin around in your maps and this will poison the enemies. By poisoning the enemies we will trigger our Herald of Agony. So it's a minion that will deal damage for us. So this is a minion build, that's all that you need to understand. We scale damage greatly for this build with two things. First of all, gem levels. So this is Herald of Agony. The more gem levels if you can get on it, the more damage you will do. And the second big component is virulence. And we're getting virulence in multiple ways. First of all, we're stacking medium cluster jewels with pure agony. That will give you +5 to maximum virulence. We're gonna use 4 of them in this version. And the second thing that helps is quality. And we get quality from the Ashes of the Stars, the amulet. Also from this new body armor, Dahlia's Malefaction. This means that we have more maximum virulence from quality. So again, gem levels and virulence. Now my boys, let's talk about the changes that happened here. First of all, we're no longer using a secondary voices jewel in this location and we're still reaching 80 maximum virulence. This is because we're using Dahlia's Malefaction that will give us more quality for Herald of Agony. Another thing that we change, we no longer use a Svalin shield here. Instead we're gonna use the Squire, and this is great because it will allow us to add the life tap. So we don't need to worry about mana. No mana issues in this version, which is a big quality of life, and not having to worry about mana also will save us a couple of skill tree nodes. You will notice that we will have more skill points to allocate. This is great. Even for the Anoint here, now we can put something else. We no longer need to put mana regeneration Anoint on the amulet, which is a great quality of life. As a matter of fact, all the new gem setups have life tap to them, so we don't need to worry about mana. Not having to worry about mana, it's a great quality of life. Now this will free up the glove slot and we're gonna use the Celestial Brace. This will give you maximum fortification. So this can roll up to 1 to 10. If you want to do it cheaper, maybe you buy an anti-perfect glove from the trade website, maybe with 1 fortification or 2, and you just put some divine orbs until you hit 9 maximum fortification, or ideally 10. And keep in mind that we're using a champion here which has permanent fortification. So at all the times, just by walking around, I will have 42 fortification stacks. That's a huge damage mitigation for spells and attacks. 42 fortification stacks, it's a lot. And we don't stop there. With the second lab, we get a lot of armor and evasion per fortification above 20, which is great because we have 42. And this will help out with physical damage mitigation. Good. In maps, you will notice that we'll have 90% physical damage mitigation, which is great for this build. And in addition to the gloves and this timeless jewel here, we're gonna use a new rune graph that we're gonna put here. Increases bonuses from equipped gloves, and this will give you 2 extra fortification. Let me demonstrate. So at the moment I have 42 permanent fortification. If I'm gonna unspec this, see 40. So just by taking this rune graph here, let me take anything, it will give me 2 extra fortification, which is quite potent. So yeah, 42 fortification permanent will help us with the tankiness. And the last change here, we're gonna use an onslaught ring base that we're gonna craft in order to have intelligence, maximum life, possibly some resistances, or maybe even chaos resistances. Good. Yeah, we don't need to worry that much about resistances because in this version we're gonna use a mage blood. Now, so in this one we have just one version. No longer you will have a low-end version and a max version, just one version, and the version will use a mage blood. This will help you cap your resistances very easy. I mean, you use a topaz flask, sapphire flask. We will discuss this in the item section. And my boys, before we jump into the bread and I explain the items, the gem setups, and the skill tree, I want to put some warnings down on the screen so everyone does this build correctly. You need to understand that this is an end-game farming build, so you need to have some currency. So yeah, if you want to make this build, you will need to have around 200-250 divine orbs. When I will explain each item, I will give you some tips and tricks that you can do. Also, you will have a crafting section in this guide in order to craft the boots, in order to craft the ring yourself so you don't overpay. But yeah, you will need around 200-250 divine orbs. This will be just one version, no longer low-end version, max version, just one version that we will have. Another thing, you need to be around level 94. Yeah, so you don't have any issues again. If you want to league start with this build, know that it's possible. What I recommend, because this is champion, you do, you know, explosive arrow ballista champion. And later when you gather some currency and you're around level 94, you can transition into this build. I mean, for those that want to do it. Yeah, so this is a possibility. Because this is a common question that I have. Can we league start with this? Yeah, you can do explosive arrow ballista champion. And after you unlock your Atlas and you get level 94 and some currency, you can transition from explosive arrow ballista champion into this build, Herald of Agony champion. It's perfectly viable. So enough talking, my boys, let's jump into it right now. Okay, my boys, let's start explaining the items. I will start from the left to the right, so it's easy to follow. I will keep Mage Blood last because we're gonna talk about the flasks. So let's start with the scepter. We're gonna use Dark Seer here. It's big because it gives us +2 extra levels to our Herald of Agony gem. So this gives +2 level of all spell skill gems. This will also affect Herald of Agony. In addition to this, it will blind the enemies, which is a tiny defensive layer, but once the enemy is blinded, you also will apply Malediction. Malediction, it's a debuff that will make the enemies take increased damage and they will deal less damage to us. So both offensively and defensively it will help us. Not only that, you get extra life per level and extra mana per level. Yeah, if you check my life, it goes up because of the scepter. So this is just too good for the build. We're gonna use it. If you're a picky dude, you can also put the fortification station and put this enchant at the top. I mean, it's not mandatory. The area of effect will help you with the poison appliance. Now let's talk about this ring here. We want a Circle of Nostalgia with the following modifiers. Pay close attention. Agony Crawler deals increased damage, and Herald of Agony has increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. It is mandatory to have the exact modifiers here, because this ring can spawn different modifiers. You want damage with Agony Crawler and the mana reservation efficiency for Herald of Agony. The implicit modifiers are up to you. And here I will demonstrate something. For example, here I bought a new ring from the trade website, you see, with different implicits. So implicits up to you what you find depending on your budget. This is a cheap ring, by the way. But what is important here to notice that Herald of Agony has increased mana reservation. You need to roll it 39 or 40% so that we can use our own setup here. Everything, in order to be able to use it, you need to roll it to 39 or 40. Look what I'm gonna do. You buy anything that you want from the trade website and you're gonna apply Divine Orbs until this will roll 39 or 40. Yeah? Like this, you can stop. Now you can stop. You have 39 increased mana reservation, then you go here to Metamorph, Ultimatum for you, and you will put here Fertile Catalyst. This will bump the mana reservation. That's all that you need to do, and now you're done. As a matter of fact, let me even switch it here. Like this. See, I switch it. That's how you do it. So pay attention, after you buy it, you want to Divine Orbit until it has 39 or 40% increased mana reservation efficiency. Then you put 20 Fertile Catalyst to bump it up even further. This will allow us to use our setup here. That will reserve mana. It's very important, so pay attention. Now for the gloves, we're gonna use the Celestial Brace. These are very powerful gloves because it will raise our maximum fortification. As you know, the ascendancy that we pick is Champion. Champion has permanent fortification. If we can raise the fortification stacks, the tankier we will become. So these are very powerful in terms of damage mitigation. So make sure to buy one with 10 or 9. And I will give you a trick here. So let's say some of them are overpriced. Depends also on the time of the day. What you can do. So I had one extra pair somewhere, here. You can buy, let's say this had the one maximum fortification because it can roll from 1 to 10, no problem, you'll put some Divine Orbs until you hit 9 or 10. Like this, 10. Then it's ideal because you'll become a tanky boy. And I need to remind you that this has synergy with the rune graph that we're gonna use. This one, it will increase bonuses gained from equipped gloves. So instead of getting 10 fortification, with this rune graph here, rune graph of the bound, in the skill tree section we're gonna talk about it, you will get 12 maximum fortification, which is a lot, because we are using this rune graph, so keep in mind. Actually, these gloves will give us 12 maximum fortification, which is great. At the end, make sure to put some quality, because armor will help us. Yeah, and the maximum fortification also has synergy with the ascendancy because of the secondary node here. So you get 3% more armor, which is a big multiplier per fortification above 20. So yeah, it's a good thing. Now let's talk about the helmet slot. We're gonna use a rare helmet that is armor based, which has this modifier, +2 to level of all minion skill gems. As I explained, we scale damage greatly via virulence and gem levels. And you need to have this modifier +2 level of all minion skill gems, and ideally some life and some resistances. In this guide there will be a crafting timestamp, and I will show you how to craft the helmet yourself. For the body armor, we're gonna use Dahlia's Malefaction. Shout out to Big Cookies, it's a guy from my guild Discord server that indicated this body armor, which is great because it will apply quality to Herald of Agony that will grant us even more virulence. And because of the body armor, we are able to drop voices jewel. It's important to notice that in this body armor you can socket the gems anywhere. You don't have restrictions, but it's important the colors where you socket it. For example, the Herald of Agony, you want to socket it in a green socket, because this will give you maximum virulence, will give you verticality, which is will boost the virulence of the gem, which is important. The other gems, I suggest you put them in a red socket, because this will give +2 extra levels. It's especially useful for Empower. Yeah? So you want one green, and the rest of them will be red. That's how you do it. Now, if you want to do even more damage, try to look for a corruption. There are 2 great corruptions that you can use here. +2 level of socket minion gems. This will give you even more gem levels to Herald of Agony. And the secondary collection, which is slightly better actually, is this one. This one, +1 level of socketed gems. So this will bump up everything. Even the support, even the Empower will get to level 7 if you have this corruption. Pretty much will balance. They are similar actually, don't worry. So you get +2 minion corruption, or you get this one +1 socketed gems if you want to push it for even more damage. Yeah, so this is what I encourage. If you want to color it, know that you can do it very sexy, very nice, using tiny chromatic orbs. You click it until you get 4 red, 1 green. I mean, this is the best way to do it because it has corrupted status. That's all that you need to understand. Now let's talk about the amulet, which is Ashes of the Stars. This is very important. It will give you quality to all skill gems. So it not only that will affect Herald of Agony, but everything that is a skill gem will get extra effect. It's important to be 30% quality because this will give you 20 virulence you will have here. Let me demonstrate. If you have Ashes of the Stars with a low roll, let's say 29. If we are going to check the virulence, now will be 19, not 20 anymore. So it's important to be with 30 quality. Again, this is a late league farming build, so of course you need to have good items. Yeah, so get it with 30% quality, because virulence is a huge DPS boost for this build. It will help you with damage. Here you want to take an onslaught ring base that we will craft. In this guide you will have a crafting timestamp, and when I will teach you how to craft this very easy, very lazy, very cheap, no problems here. Same with the boots, you will have a crafting timestamp in this guide on how to craft the boots. We use them just for this modifier, unaffected by poison. Pretty much. We need this modifier because we use this jewel here, the golden rule, that will self-poison us, and we don't want to get the poison damage, but we need the poison stacks on us for Herald of Agony to do more damage. And for the shield we use the Squire. This will allow us to add the life tap in this version, so we don't need to worry about mana. You know, mana was a big issue in the first version. People were complaining that they ran out of mana. And now you don't need to worry about it. The links that we have here are connected to the ones from the scepter. So basically this is a 6th link. Now let's talk about the mage blood. So you need a mage blood with 4 magic utility flasks. I mean, if you want, you can get with 3 magic utility and you'll automate the quicksilver flask you put when charges reach full. But ideally you want with 4 magic utility flasks. Now for the flask, because mage blood it's tied up to the flask that you're using, it's as follows. Here you want a divine life flask, yeah? If you don't have a corrupted blood immunity jewel, you will get corrupted blood immunity on the flask. But this, since damage over time it's a big weakness for this build, I suggest you get a jewel with corrupted blood immunity instead, and here roll whatever. So for the flask, roll whatever, I don't care. But the magic utility flasks are very important. Here you want to get a topaz flask, a sapphire flask, a granite flask, and a quicksilver flask. So these are the flask types. Now for the explicits, all of them, because we're using a mage blood, they need to have 25 increased effect for the explicits. But in addition to this, you want one with armor during effect, with chance to avoid being shocked during effect. This is very important for the build, so we can get elemental element immunity. Yeah, so this is mandatory. You want chance to avoid being shocked close to 55. Yeah, this is because we're using Storm Shroud, that modifiers to avoid being shocked will apply to elemental element immunity. So that's why we are immune to elemental element, because we have a flask here with chance to avoid being shocked. Keep in mind, it's very, very important, mandatory. And here you want to craft this, regenerate life per second during effect, and of course reduce effect of curses during effect. So let's say you have a map with a lot of curses, you don't get affected, because this 60% will get bumped up by the increased effect. So after you get these things, by the way, you can get even with the low roll. Let's say it's expensive 60% increased armor, you get it 58. It's expensive 55 voice shocked, you get it 54 or 53, it's still fine. Yeah, so 60 it's expensive, you get it 58 or 59, it will be cheaper, the flask. At the end you want to put some enkindling orbs until you hit 70% effect. So apply this on the flask until on the implicit you get it 70% increased effect on all the flasks. So this will be your mage blood flasks. Now let's move on. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the gem setups. Let's start with the most important part, the main setup. So you want a Herald of Agony, which is 2120, because quality will give us virulence, gem levels will give us damage. Both of them will give us damage, so it's important you buy Herald of Agony 2120. I mean, you already have a Mage Blood, you have the Celestial Bracers, you need to buy Herald of Agony 2120. It's around 1 Divine, don't worry. So mandatory. It's important, all these gems that you have in your main setup, they are leveled up, especially Empower. You want Empower level 4. When you put it in a red socket in the alias, it will get to level 6. That's a huge damage boost. For example, here, Void Manipulation. You will try to get one high level, level 5 with quality. This will help us. At level 5, you get +1 level of supported Chaos skill gems. Those will give you 1 extra level for Herald of Agony. Buy it leveled up, it's very important. We want to do real damage here. Awaken Minion damage support. At level 5, you get +1 level of supported minion skill gems. So level 5 and 20 quality. You don't need level 6. Level 5 is fine. So all these awakened gems should be level 5, 20 quality. This is the idea. We want Pierce because it's important. When the Herald of Agony shoots, we want to penetrate all the monsters so we can do fast clears in our maps. We're gonna Pierce support. And this also will give us extra damage, you see, 2 extra more projectile damage because we put it in a red socket, yeah, which is big. Here you want damage on full life. This is not for us, so don't look at our life, it's for the Herald of Agony, which is an immortal minion. So he will always benefit from damage from full life. A lot of Saki boys, they look at the health globe from their character. No, this is the life of the Herald of Agony, which is immortal, so you always get this damage boost, which is big. Yeah, so this will be for the body armor. Remember that for the sockets, because it has corrupted status, you can use TANKY chromatic orbs. And you click on it until you get 5 red, 1 green. I mean, even 4 red, 2 green is fine if you're unlucky. Yeah, so you get 4 red, 2 green, it's also fine. And you put a gem in a green, it will give you extra quality is fine. But ideally you want 5 red, 1 green. In the green socket you will put the Herald of Agony. Keep in mind the color matters. Herald of Agony will be in the green socket. You use a tiny chromatic orb to color them. Yeah. Now let's check here. Here we have Automation, Convocation, Steel Skin, and Life Tap. Yeah, you want them high level and with also with quality. This will help you with cooldown recovery rate quality, which is big. So we want to use Convocation as much as possible. This will teleport the Agony Crawler close to us, so we can just spin in their maps and the Agony Crawler will get teleported to us. This is faster for clears. Yeah? So make sure they are high level and with quality. I mean, if you cannot afford 2120, you buy it 2020. Yeah, so 2020 automation, it's fine, you can put it. Idea is you want to put quality, you want them high level. Oh, I forgot to put quality. Man, I'll do it now on the spot. So you put some quality. It helps. This is what you need to understand. And here Life Tap, because it will cost life instead of mana to trigger, which is very sexy, very nice. Good. Here for the boots you want Despair, Flame Dash, and Life Tap. Life Tap because it will cost life instead of mana. Despair, you want it high level with quality. When you have a hard boss, you will curse manually with Despair, he will take increased damage. It's pretty much powerful. And here Flame Dash, it's our movement skill. You know how it works. Pretty sexy, pretty nice. Let's see what we have here. We have Cyclone, Tornado of Elemental Turbulence, and Ball Lighting. Why we use this setup? Basically, when we Cyclone, we were gonna trigger tornadoes and ball lightings around us that will apply poisons on the enemies, that will make the Herald of Agony spawn and give more virulence to them, so it will do more damage. So this is mandatory. What's important to notice here, you don't need to level them up. So all these free, they should be level 1. Remember, you don't level them up. Cyclone, Tornado of Elemental Turbulence, and Ball Lighting of Orbiting must be level 1. You can apply quality on them. And here you want to have Life Tap, Chance to Poison, and Awaken Cast while channeling support. Yeah, it's important, this will support these skills. Basically, they will poison. Yeah, we have 60% chance to poison from the setup that we have from the skill tree. This is 60%. And here with 40%, 100% to poison. So they are guaranteed to poison. Here you want Awaken Cast when channeling. So when you spin around, it will channel the tornadoes and ball lightings. And here you want Life Tap. So the setup costs life instead of mana. Big quality of life here. Now let's inspect the helmet. Here we have a Ray Spectre with Feeding Frenzy. Now we're gonna talk in a second. And here we have Petrified Blood with Tempest Shield. So these are auras. What you need to understand, you don't want to link them together. You put them separately. It's very easy. Let me demonstrate. So you go here to the crafting bench. Let's do it on this one, why not? Look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put one socket so we start fresh for my boys. Put 2 sockets like this. You'll see how easy it is. So in order to get your setup right, you put first 4 sockets. Use the crafting bench, it's faster. 4 sockets. If you want them unlinked, you put here 2 link sockets. And you click until you have this like this. And for the colors, because this is armor-based helmet, you just put blue here. At least 3 blue sockets. This one. And you're inclined to get the red one. Very easy, very sexy, very nice. You get it very fast. That's how you get your colors. Again, you want them high level. So petrified blood, it's very, very important. It will help us to mitigate damage hits. Yeah, you want it high level with quality. Another thing that you need to understand, when you equip petrified blood and you enable it, your life will look like this. The top part of the life cannot be regenerated by regular life regen. Only life flask can regenerate it. Yeah, so it's normal. It will split your life in the upper part and the bottom part. The upper part, as you can see, will not regenerate. It's normal, don't get panicked. Just the bottom part will get affected by regeneration from your life. If you want to regenerate the top part, you just place your life flask. Yeah, a lot of people are curious about this interaction. Tempest Shield will give you spell block, defensive layer. Good, use it for spell block. Now here you want Race Spectral, level 20, 20 or 21, 20 and Feeding Frenzy. This will make the specters to attack enemies and will give you the Feeding Frenzy debuff, which will make Herald of Agony stronger. For the specters, you want to use just this one, Perfect Dark Marionettes. Let me demonstrate. My boys. Here it is. In order to use the specter, you will right click on it and it will put the corpse on the ground, like this. Now you have the specter on the ground. To summon the specter, you will have access to this skill, Raise Specter. And you just raise it. I mean, 2 specters, it's enough. I mean, if you want to go with 3, up to you. I suggest 2 or 3 specters, up to you. So now you have 3 specters, Dark Marionette. What's special about these specters? If they die, they get resummoned. So you don't need to worry about them dying. They will die a lot, they will get resummoned a lot, and they will apply Feeding Frenzy a lot, which what really matters. Now another thing that you need to pay attention for, sometimes when you're switching items around, you will notice that you don't have enough intelligence, like here. And this will drop the specters. So you don't need to buy them again from the trade website. You actually have them on the ground. You see them translucid here. You'll just resummon them after you do your changes. So make sure to know that they are on the ground. You don't need to buy them again. It's important. Good. Now let's move on. Okay, my boys, now let's take a closer look at the skill tree setup. I will explain all the gems that we have here. I will explain all the masteries. I will explain the rune grafts and all that good stuff. So let's get started. Here at the top you want to put a natural instinct. You put it exactly in this location because it will grant you some resistances for free. It will give you some block chance, which is great. It will give you some movement speed. It will give you some duration skill. It's just too good. So you want to put it in this location, a natural instinct. Good. Let me see something hard. Here you want the golden rule. It's a jewel that will poison us, but we don't get damage from the poison because we use these boots with unaffected by poison. And the poison stacks, the more we have on them, it will help Herald of Agony deal more damage. Pretty much that's how it works. Not only that, the moment you get poison, it will raise your chaos resistance. So people will say here, boss, why you have just 70% chaos resistance or low chaos? It doesn't matter because in the maps we're gonna poison ourselves and this will give us a lot of extra chaos resistance. So even though you see now 70% chaos resistance, actually I will be kept when I'm fighting a boss or something like that. I will be kept because I get self-poisoned. So this will also give you chaos resistance per poison on you. Keep that in mind because it's very important. Okay, my boys. Yeah, so here you want to use voices with 5 passives. This is cheap. Yeah, you can, if you're rich, you can buy with 3 passives and it will give you 2 extra skill points, but you don't need it. You buy it with 5 because we like cheap items. This is 60 chaos, 50 chaos, very cheap. And inside you want to stack as many as possible medium cluster jewels with pure agony. We just care about pure agony. Don't worry about cult leader. This will be the ideal jewel with cult leader. I mean, if you get level 100, you can take these nodes for extra damage, but you don't need it. You buy just with pure agony and make sure that it's 4 passives. Yeah, you want 4 passives. This will save you a point. Don't buy it with 6 because you will waste 1 skill point. So you want medium cluster jewels with 4 passives with pure agony. That's what you need to understand. Oh, you will use 1 more here. You see, just pure agony. Very sexy, very nice. Good. Now let's talk here. This is a very important one. It's Calamitous Visions that will give you lone messengers. This keystone here. Basically, you can use 1 Herald, no problem. We were using 1 anyway. And more effect of Herald buffs on you. This is great. Will give us more chance to poison. And what's important here, minions from herald skills deal 25% more damage. That's a huge damage multiplier for our minion. We do much more damage. Downside is your aura skills are disabled. We are lucky because all this crap here are not auras. Yeah, and because our auras are disabled, will enable a rune graph that we're gonna talk in a second. So this is a great, you need calamitous visions, you take it, you trust me. Here you want a random rare jewel with corrupted blood immunity and some increased maximum life. The other modifiers are up to you. So increase maximum life and corrupted blood immunity. Yeah, because you don't want to press your flask for corrupted blood immunity, you can just take it on a jewel and don't worry about it. Damage over time, it's our biggest weakness for this build, remember this. And here we have Storm Shroud. This is important because it will give us elemental element immunity. So for Ignite, Chill and Freeze. This is because we have this flask with the chance to avoid being shocked with increased effect. And this will give us also avoidance for Ignite, Chill and Freeze. So Storm Shroud, it's important. You want to take it. Good, my boys. Let's see what I have here. I have the Balance of Terror. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. So the Balance of Terror is the best in Sword Jewel because when you curse with Despair on a boss, hard boss, this will also apply Wither stacks. Wither, it's a huge damage boost. But apparently these jewels skyrocketed in price at the moment. They are much more expensive. You see 60, 70 divines. So here it's a workaround. If you don't want to buy this, you know, I mean, maybe you're poor and you don't want to buy it, I will give you some workarounds. Okay. First of all, in this league we have mercenaries. So you can buy any mercenary that you desire and you will use these gloves. Okay, so these gloves are from the Shabby boss. It calls Abhorrent Interrogation. It will apply Wither stacks when your mercenary attack. It's very cheap. And on mercenary you can use whatever, by the way. So for the mercenary whatever, just make sure you have this amulet. So you put this amulet, this will give you a huge damage boost for the mercenary, and Abhorrent Interrogation, it will give you Wither stack. Take any mercenary you want because this build is very tanky even without a mercenary. As a matter of fact, in the next patch it's possible that we don't have these mercenaries anymore, but this is one solution. Now another solution that you can do, you can buy Withering Touch support. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Withering Touch support, and you will link it to the Spectres. Yeah? Pretty much you will move one of these auras, you put them here. You will link here, you put Ray Spectre to Feeding Frenzy to Withering Touch support. And you keep unlinked here the Petrified Blood. And that's it. And when the Spectres attack, Ray Spectre, they will apply Withering Touch. The problem is they will not probably reach maximum withers, but still it's a damage boost. So this you can do it for cheap until you can get a Balance of Terror. Now I give you two solutions. You use Abhorrent Interrogation on the mercenary, or you put Withering Touch support here and you move here one skill gem. You link this free with Withering Touch. The Spectres will apply Withering Touch on the boss. Because usually you need Wither on hard bosses that will be alone most of the times. Good! Good, my boy. So I give you solutions in case you don't want Balance of Terror. So good, so nice. Here I have Reckless Defense. This is a jewel that will give you more spell block and chance to block. Make sure you buy it with 6 and 6. The higher roll, the better, pretty much, yeah? So you buy 6 block attack spell damage, block attack damage. You understood the process. Now let's talk about the masteries. I will leave the Timeless Jewel at the end because I want to show to Saki boys how to look for one, because there are a lot of Saki boys in this game. We are immune to critical strikes because of this mastery. Also, this will give more chance to poison, which is important. And you also take this mastery, enemies poisoned by you cannot deal critical strikes, and by the way, we poison all the enemies around us. So immunity to critical strikes, big defensive layer. Here you have extra effect of spell suppression, and here too. So our spell suppression is more potent. Here it's another important mastery, chance to suppress spell damage is lucky. So even though if you check here I have just 78 spell suppression, it will feel like 100% because I have lucky spell suppression. So when I suppress a spell, let's say I fail, it will roll 2 times and will pick the best result. And this pretty much, it will raise my 78 to close to 99 or 100. So this is great because we have spell suppression in this build. Here you want to take those, increase maximum life if there are no life modifiers on equipped body armor, and we don't have. Let me demonstrate. Check my life here. I drop this shit. Less life. You take this, you have more life. Pretty straightforward. Good. Okay, and here we have some roof graft. Here it's an important one. Chance to block spell damage per chance to block attack damage. And because we have 80% chance to block attack damage, we will get a lot of chance to block spell damage. You see? That's a lot. So you take this mastery. Here it's another one. Maximum chance to block attack damage so we can reach 80%. So the more the better, you know what they say. And now here we have some rune graft. So rune grafts can be applied any place where you have a mastery slot. I personally went here and here if you want. And for the rune grafts you want to take this one, increases bonuses from equipped gloves. So if you have 10 maximum fortification, with this rune graft of the bound, you will get 12 maximum permanent fortification on top, which is huge for this build archetype. And here you want to use rune graft of treachery. Increase mana reservation by 15%, which is a lot. Downside, auras from your skills also affect enemies. Problem is, we don't use auras. Yeah, so because of this keystone here, your aura skills are disabled. These are not auras, so we don't feel the downside. We just get 15% increased reservation and efficiency of skills for free. So you'll apply rune graft of treachery here maybe, and here too. Rune graft of the bound. These two rune grafts are mandatory for the build. Here is another mastery that I forgot to explain. 10% reduced damage over time while you have at least 20 fortification. And we have permanent fortification, so this is damage over time reduction for free with this mastery. My boys, now let's explain the keystones. So here we have Mage Bane. This will give you extra spell suppression for free. So check my spell suppression. I unspec Mage Bane. You see, you take Mage Bane, you get extra spell suppression, which is great. Another keystone that we're using is this one. It's called Unwavering Stance. Basically we use so we don't get stunned. So we can cyclone around the enemies, attempt to stun us, but we ignore stuns. It's very potent because this is a very fluid build. You spin and everything dies. The downside, you cannot evade enemy attacks. We don't worry about that. Don't need to worry. We have good block, we have good armor mitigation. It's just too great. Another thing, it's important here to speak about the tattoos. Here you have an intelligence node. You want to put this tattoo of the HOA shaman. This will help us reach 60% chance to poison, which is very important. So you have 55, with this tattoo you will have 60%. We get 40 more with this setup here that we're gonna use because we have chance to poison. That's 100% chance to poison. Don't forget to put this tattoo here. Chance to poison on hit 5%, it's mandatory. Then if you can, you need to reach 80% chance to block. You can use the aid of tattoos, tattoo of the Valako shield bearer, it's a red tattoo. You can use it until you reach 80%. That's all that you need to know. Maybe on some builds you might want to use 2 because you have a shit squire that doesn't have 5% chance to block. No problem, you will supplement it with 1 extra tattoo. I mean, it's no problem there. Good! Now let's talk about the sherry of the top, which is this timeless jewel. We are using here a Lethal Pride. We want to stack as much extra fortification as possible. You see maximum fortification here, here 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll show you how to buy one. You go here on the sexy Twitch, my channel on YouTube, sorry, and you have here Timeless Jewel Calculator. You click on it, you'll get redirected to this virus website full of viruses, man. I'm kidding, it's not a virus website. You click here on the bottom and you put here Lethal Pride for the jewel. Conqueror doesn't matter. So the Conqueror affects the keystone, but we are not using any special keystone in this location, so you don't care. Click whatever. Then you click select stats and you put here fortification. Fortification, maximum fortification. You deselect everything and you select the nodes that you are interested in. Pretty much will be these nodes. Let me check again. Yeah, these are the nodes that we're gonna use, and now you want to put how many you want. Now ideally you go with 4, but if it's too expensive at a given time, no worry, you can go with 3. So if you have 41 permanent fortification, it's still extremely tanky. Even 40 permanent fortification, no problem here. So let's try first with 4. Click search and here you have the ones. Let's say they are expensive. I'm assuming after I make this guy will be expensive, you buy with 3. You click search. Much more will appear. What you need to do, you click on it. You can even see the other nodes. For example, here I will get some fire resistance, which is useful. Yeah? And then you click here on trade. We'll redirect you to the trade website, which is very sexy. And here you want to click everything, because the keystone doesn't matter for us. And now you see. Now a jewel like this should cost around 1 divine, 5 divine, so I'm not gonna pay 15 divines for this crap. For free fortification, they should be around 5 divines, plenty of them. Again, you want to click everything here, and you click search. See 1 divine. And you buy the crap. We buy the crap if he answers. And you keep repeating this, and you should 1 divine. I have to buy it, sadly. Let me buy it. Okay, I took the jewel. Let me also equip it so you can see the difference. The difference is not that big. If you have a 41 fortification or 42, you won't feel it. Let's put it here, the jewel. Put it! See, 41 fortification, no big deal. I mean, the build is still very tanky. Yeah. So 42 ideal, 41 is still perfectly viable for this build. Let's move on. Okay, let's go. Okay, my boys, now let's talk about the bandits, Pantheon, and Ascendancy. For the bandits, you want to kill all the bandits. This will award 1 extra skill point that you can invest where you want. So remember, kill all the bandits. For the Pantheon, you want to take Soul of Arakali. This is because it will help us with damage over time mitigation. 10% reduce damage taken from damage over time. It's big. Also, we have 10% from this mastery. But yeah, you want Soul of Arakali. Also, you want to unlock it to the full potential. So you're gonna use these fragments, which are called Divine Vessels, in order to fully unlock your Pantheon. You want to see everything with blue text. For the minor Pantheon, you have flexibility. You can take Soul of Gruthul, and this will help you with physical damage reduction. You can also fully unlock it if you want, or you can go for this one, Soul of Aberrat. It will help you with Ignite, but the second one is very good. You are unaffected by Burning Ground. So Burning Ground, its damage over time, you find it in a lot of maps, can be annoying. So these two are viable. I personally went with Gruthul, but Soul of Aberrat, if you use a Divine Vessel, you are unaffected by Burning Ground. This is also great to pick. So these two are great. Now, my boys, let's talk about the Ascendancy and the order in which you will allocate the nodes. On the first lab, you want to take this one, Fortitude. This will give you permanent fortification, which is a huge damage mitigation layer for this build here. On the second lab, you want to take this one, Unstoppable Hero. This will give you 3% more armor and evasion per fortification above 20. And we have a lot above 20, you see, 42. This will help you with physical damage reduction greatly. And in maps, don't worry, you will be 90%. We have endurance charges. We also have the minor Pantheon here. I mean, in maps, you will be 90% most of the times. All the times, actually. This helps greatly. Even the small ones help. It will give you more armor. Each nice. And on the third lab, you want to take this one, First to Strike, Last to Fall. It will give you Adrenaline for free. Every 20 seconds, pretty much, you will get Adrenaline. And this is great because you will move 25% faster, you will cast faster, attack faster, it's great. And on the last lab, you want to take this one, Worthy Foe. It will taunt enemies on hit. And enemy taunt is by you cannot evade attacks. So remember, first lab you take Fortitude, second lab Unstoppable Hero, third lab First to Strike, Last to Fall, and the last lab Worthy Foe. Now let's move on. Okay, my boys, and this is the crafting section. I will explain how to craft a helmet like this, a ring, and the boots. So let's get started. Let's start with the helmet. So you want a helmet. You want it to be rare. You want it to be uncorrupted. Yeah. And you want with some armor. Put 150. This will guarantee that will be an armor base. You want here minion skill gems with +2. So these are the mandatory modifiers that you will search. Ideally here, because there are plenty of helmets like this, you want with some life. So put maximum life above 90. Above 90. That's all that we need to search and see what we get. You see plenty of them, which is nice. And we can take this one, a good armor also. We take it. You'll see how easy it is to craft. We're gonna buy it from Commissar 3069. Oh, porno. Man, he doesn't answer. If he doesn't answer, you just scroll down a little. No problem. We buy from someone else. Let's buy this helmet here. We whisper. Idea is you want one open suffix. Yeah, because we're gonna do prefixes cannot be changed. Let's see, he answers. Yeah, he answers. Good. So you get your base. This will be an armor base with +2 minion gems and some life. Yeah, armor base, you have some armor, no problem. So we go here to the crafting bench, and also you have an open suffix. Yeah, if you search it like this, most of the times they will have an open suffix. So what you want to do, you put prefixes cannot be changed. This thing here. You click it. Then you go to the fortification station and you put Reforge Chaos. Yeah, and this will trigger the Chaos Resistance. See, I got Chaos Resistance. In case you get a lower roll, you repeat the process. You put again prefixes cannot be changed, and you go again. You reroll. And that's it, you got... This is a great helmet. And for the last modifier, you will put the Intelligence. Yeah, you'll craft Intelligence, because this build needs a lot of Intelligence. And you click until you have 30... like this. And you're done. You're done. If you want to do something extra, you check if you have an open prefix or suffix, and you slam an Exaltor with what it is, what it is. Don't leave 5 modifiers. I mean like this. At the end you put some quality. Bam! You crafted the helmet. You see, pretty easy. Now you want to roll it with Embers and Ichors. I suggest you put Greater Eldritch Embers and Ichors. You click on it and you need to understand what we want. We want damage conversion, physical damage from hits taken as cold or as lighting. Don't use as fire because we're not using a ruby flask. And because we have more maximum cold and lighting, this is a good damage mitigation layer. So you use this until you have this one. Physical damage taken as lightning damage or cold damage. 6%, 7%, it's fine. And you use then this one until you get something with utility. Personally, I went with maximum maximum lighting resistance. This one. I usually suggest like this. The more maximum lighting resistance you have. Plus we have the Ether of Old Altars. There are some Pinnacle bosses with heavy lighting damage. Golems in tier 17 do heavy lighting damage. I suggest like this. Now to color this beauty, it's also very easy. You put here first sockets. You put 4 sockets. In case you don't have them linked like this, you just... Oh, my bad. You put here link. If you want to link it like me here, you put 2 links. You will get it eventually, very easy, you get it, and then at the end you want to get the colors. Now because this is an armor base, it's inclined to get red socket, red color socket. So you put blue, and you put at least 3 blue sockets. See, many times you'll get a red socket here. And that's how you craft it, you know. Very sexy, very easy, very nice. Now let's craft a ring here, yeah? My boys, I will craft a ring. So you get a base from the trade website. So you put here a ring. You make it rare. Remove this crap. Item level, you want it high. Let's put 80 plus. Don't worry, there are a lot of them on the website. You don't want it corrupted. And let's put here, you gain onslaught on hit. It's an implicit. You put it like this and you search it. Wait, the fuck is so cheap. This is cheap as fuck. Let's see if he answers. And you buy a base. Oh, for 35 kills, man, my boy, you're a noob. The real price is 4 divine, I'll give him 4 divines. So this guy, he sucks at the game. He has a ring that's 4 divines and he wants to sell it for 35 kills. I will pay him 4 divines because I'm a nice guy. I don't want to scam him. Come on, take 4 divines. This is the real price. Real price is 4 divines. Not 45C. Come on, take it. Okay, my boys, now I'll show you how easy it is to craft. We go here and you want to buy the following essence. So it's an essence that will guarantee intelligence. It's called Deafening Essence of Spite. And you roll it until you get life. That's all that you need to do. It's already good, I mean here. But you want life. You click it, this will guarantee that you get intelligence, and you click it until you get a good life roll on top. If you can get chaos resistance on top, it's great. If you don't get it, don't worry about it, because we get chaos resistance from the jewel setup. So I explain, we have here a jewel, which is called the golden rule. When you get self-poisoned, it will give you chaos resistance, so don't worry about it. You click it until you get a good life roll. The craft is pretty easy, I need to stress this. Let me focus, my boy, let me focus. You're ruining my focus. Prefix, yeah, you have this. And then you want to put this non-channeling 7. So they will not chunk your life too fast. And you're done. You're done with the ring. Very easy, very sexy, very cheap, very nice. At the end you can put an Exalt Slam. And see what you get. It's good. Done. You crafted the ring. Great ring. But you're not done. You need to put some intrinsic catalyst. This will give you even more intelligence. Like this. We're struggling with intelligence, and if you put catalyst, you can actually drop this node here, which is a great quality of life. It will save you 1 skill point. On some scenarios where you have more intelligence, you can drop it, I mean, yeah? Let me take back my specters here. Wants to ruin my presentation. So now you know how to craft the helmet, you know how to craft the ring. Now let's get into something more serious. We need to get boots which have unaffected by poison. So pretty much this is a very easy craft because the only modifiers we care it's about unaffected by poison. Also we use this rune graph here which lower the potency of the boots. So don't worry about it. So just get boots with unaffected by poison. How to do it? My boys, we're gonna craft them from scratch so you don't overpay. Let's look at the armor boots. Leviathan Greaves, Brimstone Threads, Precursor Greaves, Titan Greaves. Here you have the best bases. So I suggest you go with any of these bases with Hunter Influence. Because maybe if I make the video now, Leviathan Graves will be expensive. Don't worry, then you buy the next one. Will be Brimstone Threads. They are expensive, no problem. You buy Precursor Graves and so on. Because you don't want to overpay. You're smart because you watched this video. Now let's put here the name. Leviathan Graves, which are boots. Yeah. And you want to put here Hunter Influence. You write Hunt. Has Hunter Influence. That's all that you need to do. Corrupted, no. Click search. You get very cheap. Let's buy a pair. Okay, give it to me. Nice. So you got your base. Hunter Influence, boots with armor base. Now you want to go to the fortification station. And you want to put here Reforged Chaos. What's important here, sometimes you'll spawn this modifier. Chance to avoid being poisoned. It's a very bad modifier. If you get this one, it's a brick. You don't want this. You want to get poisoned. So you don't want to avoid being poisoned. You want to get poisoned because we're gonna stack poison stacks on ourselves. So Herald of Agony deals more damage. So if you have this crap, look very well, of the hunt, chance to avoid being poisoned, it's a brick. So you put here Reforged Chaos until you get... 1 second, I need to get it first. This one, unaffected by desecrated ground. We want to elevate this so it becomes unaffected by poison. So if we elevate unaffected by desecrating ground, it will get turned into unaffected by poison. I'm assuming there are some Saki boys that don't know how to elevate. Well, I will show you. So I got more life force and I also got Orb of Dominance. Orb of Dominance is needed for the elevation. You put Reforged Chaos until you get this one, Desecrate Ground, with another special Hunter Influence. Because if you're gonna place it now, it will not allow you to do it. So it only works if you have 2 special Hunter Influence modifiers, yeah? So it will not work. You keep rolling. Look, here we have 2 special Hunter Influence. We have Unaffected by Desecrated Ground, and we have another Hunter Influence, chance to avoid being poisoned and chance to avoid being bleeding. You need to understand, when you place the Orb of Dominance, it has 50% chance to elevate the Desecrated Ground, which we want, and 50% chance to elevate the other one. So it's not guaranteed, it's 50-50. If you're unlucky, you might need to do this process all over again. So you will click it and see what happens. Here I was unlucky, it elevated the other modifiers, which is good for the showcase, so people understand that this is not guaranteed. In this scenario, you can either sell it on the trade website, the elevation, and you buy a new base, and if it's cheap, like this modifier is cheap, you keep reforging it. And you go again, you try again. Look, here we have another 2 special modifiers, unaffected by desecrated ground, Hunter modifier, and poisons you inflict deal damage faster. This is also Hunter Influence. So you want to put Orb of Dominance, have 50% chance to elevate one of them. Yeah, and you want to pray that you fix the desecrated ground. And I got unaffected by poison. Pretty much that's how you get it. And check here how you will do. You go here to the crafting bench. You'll put here prefixes cannot be changed. Very easy craft that even casuals can follow here. And you reforge here movement speed. Yeah, so I did a very easy setup, and this will trigger the movement speed. I mean, even 10% if you get is still fine. You can get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, let's put it 30 movement speed. Yeah, and yeah, we use it mostly for unaffected by poison, but now you also get some movement speed guaranteed. And for the last line, you can craft something. I mean, you go to the crafting bench here, and you can put even chaos resistance. Why not? Let's put fire and chaos resistance.
This is less random than we would like, but sufficient.
See, attributes, I think also attributes you can put. Yeah, you can put all attributes if you need, but I'll put fire and chaos. Yeah, and here another thing that you can do, you can swap resistances around. Let's say you don't need cold resistance, maybe you need fire. You type here fire and you can put cold to fire. So instead of getting 32 cold resistance, I will get 31 fire resistance. Don't worry if your boots don't get life, doesn't matter. This build is very tanky even with no life roll on the boots. At the end, make sure to put some quality on the boots. Go here and put quality on the boots. So the boots can be problematic simply because it's 50% chance to elevate, and this one it's expensive at the moment. It's late league in patch 326, but on league start in the next league or mid league, this will be cheaper Orb of Dominance. Now a lot of people quit it and the market economy is terrible. Well, my boys, I talked a lot and I need to stop here. I need to remind you that on the Discord server you have a dedicated support channel for the build, 2 of them. One is the info channel with a lot of reminders and important information, and one is a support channel where you can type, you can post questions, you can post your POB and we inspect and all that good stuff. So 2 dedicated support channels for the build, and we're gonna have a good time. Enjoy the rest of the day and good luck.